All right. So right here, it's on my Mac. I gotta get it on my clipboard again, or I can open up Slack over my Mac. There you go. And just check it out. Oops, I already have one. Cancel. Being a jerk. Oh. Copy. Too many windows open. And that's it. Put it in there. Say OK. And then username and password. So now I have Snail right here as well. Cool. So if anyone has any questions, let me know. But all I'm going to do now is put a text file in there for today. I'm going to do a new text file. And I'm going to call it roll call, wrong roll. And I put my name in there. And this is one of the homework assignments, is just to put your name in this document. And you can do this before you into class today. I am going to update it. Or I'm sorry, I'm going to commit it. Here's the one document that I have. One thing that's changed in the folder, I'm going to say, yes, I want to check it in. And I say, this is the initial commit, and added the roll call. And see, it even auto-completed the text thing. So now if I say OK, it's going to upload it. And if I go to my Mac side, I can now check it out. Or I've already checked out. Let me see if I could just pull. View objects. Right click. Where's the option? I am going to I have to check on this one. I haven't done this in a while. Let's see. This is Snail.
Are you trying to pull it?
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out how to pull it. This is export.
I think if you have it locally, you need to pull it. I see it.
Okay, you see it on your Mac side?
I'm on my Windows machine.
Okay, yeah, Windows is working fine. It's just I'm trying to figure out on the Mac side the button. I haven't done this on a Mac in a year, so it should be repo browser. You can definitely see the repo. I'm just trying to what's the command for pulling. We'll figure this out in a second.
Refresh.
Oh, is that it?
Yeah, that's what I did to get to view it.
That exports the repo. That's log. I'll get this up. I'll add this to the document. I'll add this to the screen recording, and we'll have it by the end of the day or by tomorrow. So you can definitely see roll call. We'll get it in there. Okay, so that was a little awkward. Trying to do things on Mac and Windows. That's what I'm trying to get everyone to be to Windows for the rest of the semester, so I don't have to continue doing back and forth. But if everyone's in Windows, then if you say update, SVN update, it will pull. I already have it, so there's no other revisions. Um, Jessica, if you're right there, if you have Windows,
Yeah,
why don't you go ahead and pull, open up the document,
I already did. I'm just what's the one to push?
then you can and click anywhere in the in the folder, and then do commit.
I don't have that option. I don't have a commit option. Is the word commit or
Yeah, you can see right there on my screen it says SVN commit.
yeah, I don't have that.
Do you have update in the other Tortoise SVN settings?
Huh.
So you have all this.
No.
Did you already install Tortoise? Well, you must have to get the repo.
Yeah, I have the tortoise. I have tortoise. It just has only one menu where it's. I'm just gonna try to.
Uh,
Things.
who else? Who has a Windows computer that has these three options on their on their? Who's that?
Um, when I press update, it has the text file in here.
Great. And do you also have a button for commit?
Yeah.
So why don't you go ahead and open up roll call, add your name, and then hit commit.
Okay, I committed it.
All right. So once it's updated, then if I do update again, I now see that I updated roll call text file. I'm at revision 2, and I see Amy's name. Right. So we'll work on this. We're gonna have a time in class today to continue to work on this. I'll figure out the Mac thing, and we'll move on. Cool. All right. So that's SVN. All right. And again, I'll figure out the Mac side for Snail. Uh, then moving on, since I'm already screen recording, let's do the next task for today. This is only on PC right now. So this is why I'm going to get you guys access to PCs at IDM. So if you have a Mac, just hold tight for this. I'm screen recording it for when you get access to a PC. So if we go back to our Slack, here we go. I also have a document right here for called IDM Mocap VPN. So this is a document that Grant and I wrote for just for this class for us, and this is a way for us to share data like we were in the same room. I was showing a couple people a picture of LAN parties, which is back when we were doing multiplayer games back in the 90s. We used to bring our computers to the same room because the internet wasn't fast enough to game. There's a famous picture of a dude in with duct tape. This guy duct taped to the ceiling at a LAN party. I think it's pretty hilarious. Here's from the other side. There wasn't enough room for him, so that's where he played Quake 2 from. So essentially, like just same way I bring my own router to teach class. This is the same thing that we're going to do with being able to share data with each other and being able to work together. So if you go back to the document for VPN, you'll see this thing called Soft Ether, right? And Soft Ether has a client version. And so this is going to be an installer. Go to Soft Ether VPN. And again, I'm still screen recording everyone. So you're going to get the client. For this one, we're doing Windows. This is fine. It's both CPUs are fine. And then download the client here. In the document, I also have created these certificate files. and they're in my Google Drive. Let me know if you have any problems getting that zip folder. It has 2 tiny little files in there, and that's basically our authentication passwords for being able to join the VPN. So these virtual private networks are oftentimes used to like hide your IPs or tunnel through firewalls. It's often famously this project Soft Ether is open source, created as part of I think it was a thesis project. You can go to Soft Ether's main page if you want to know more about it itself. It's just softether.org. And there's a whole bunch of a whole culture around creating your own VPNs and stuff like that. And it's essential for us to do multi-user editing. I think it's VPN Gate is kind of like the main website if you want to learn all about accessing VPNs, and a lot of this stuff is connecting to VPNs so that you can download torrents or browse websites that are banned by your country or something like that. So I went through the process already of creating a server on the mocap computer, and it took me a long time to figure it all out, but the server's the hard part. The client part is easy for you. So here I am in the mocap computer in the black box, and it's been playing the same take of Mark stepping up and down ladders for the last week. So we have to thank Mark for his performance. And just to prove to you guys that I have this whole server thing, yay, it's there. But we don't really care about that. We're just going to be clients. So I already have it installed. Let's try something interesting. Let's see. I'm going back to Zoom. And somebody else who has Windows should try doing the installer, and I could walk them through it so we can record from scratch. So I'm going to stop sharing. Who has Windows and wants to be the guinea pig? Anyone?
I could go through it, but I'm not on Zoom through my Windows machine.
Okay, who could share their screen and is on Windows?
I can try. I can. Oh.
I think Ellen went first. Marianne, you could do the next guinea pig thing. All right, so Ellen, can you share your screen?
Let me share my screen. Okay.
Awesome. So that way I'm still screen recording what you're doing. And let's go ahead and go through the installation process from that document. I put it into the Slack. Further down. That's.
I downloaded Tortoise. Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yes, the one that says.
This one.
Yeah, that one. Yeah. So download the Soft Ether client right there. So select component, which is the client, and then the platform, which is going to be Windows, and then that's fine. So it's that one that says client version 4.3.4. Boom. And then go ahead, go back to the Word document while that's downloading, and get the Google Drive zip folder back up. Mm-hmm. And then you can just download both of those. Cool, and we'll grab those in a second.
Okay. I'll open them.
So we've done screenshots for the whole process, but go ahead and go through it. So say next. You're doing just the client. You go ahead and agree. Say next. That's fine. Cool. Installing song. Installing song. All right. All right, so we're going to add a VPN connection. So double click on that. Yeah. And say yes. Whatever you want to call it, doesn't matter. Actually, it does matter. It has to be VPN or VPN 2, VPN 3. So just keep it as VPN for right now.
Okay.
And it's going to take a second. It's going to make a new adapter, virtual adapter. All right, so now I think you could double click on that thing. Great. So, the setting name, the new VPN connection, you can call it whatever you want. Black box is fine, or mocap, or
Okay.
and then the host name I have to grab for you real quick,
Okay.
and I'll put it into Slack. 1 second. So added the host name to Slack right now. So copy and paste that in. Alright. Client. Sorry, I'm on my own screen real quick. And then let's go to
Mm.
alright, back in Zoom. And let's go back to the documentation. Okay, so we already installed it. We went ahead and got that.
Okay.
So the virtual hub name it's going to be black box with a capital B and two capital B's.
Okay.
So so for step number 3, we're going to
Alan, is that client 2 or diet?
Ah, client. Okay. Client.
so the client will actually be
Client.
so that's a mistake with Grant's screenshot, and I apologize for that. That's the client is going to be IDM, capital I, capital D, capital M, and I'll change it.
I should type IDM here.
1 second, I'm just checking on the computer. So yeah, that should be capital I, capital D, capital M. And then specify client certificate. And if you've unzipped that folder with the certificates,
Uh-oh. Should be downloads.
so yeah, extract that. Cool. So now load in the certificates back in there.
This one?
Yep, and say open. And then it's going to open up the key. And you say open. And everything should be good. Say okay. So you now have access to all the data in the mocap room. So if you double click on or right click on the inside that client viewer, Right click on the
This one?
mocap studio one. On the top part of the window.
Okay, one sec.
That's okay.
Where on the top? This one? Oh,
Yeah,
Mobile
right
Studio.
there. And now you're connecting, and let's see if it works.
This one.
Okay, so you can say "Don't show again," and say "Okay."
Does it matter where we install it? Like if we install it on our hard drive or C drive?
I mean, it's a small piece of software. I just do it as a standard installation on your C drive. This is just a small little tunneling stuff. So you're done with a VPN. You've now installed this, and what you can do is go and bring up a command prompt. Run CMD in your search bar.
Here?
Yes, just say CMD. There, hit enter. And then type in IP config.
Wait, right after this. IP.
Hit enter. And so now you'll see that you have a where it says it says VPN client at the top of your command prompt. That's your local IP to the black box. You're now connected to the black box as if you were inside the room. So I'm going to go ahead and take back screen sharing.
Todd, where are the certifications that IDM?
That's inside the documentation for that. Yeah. Go ahead and stop screen sharing, Alan, and I'll take over and show everyone again. Thank you very much for being the guinea pig.
Yay!
Yeah, you did a great job.
What can we do with this VPN?
So this is a way of streaming data from between all our computers. This is basically like we're all in the same room together. So if I now take over screen sharing, here we go. This is me managing my users. So obviously you can always just download your files from the computer, but this is actually to prove a bigger point later on. For instance, so now you can see my screen. I know where my IP address is because I could do the command prompt here, say IP config here, and I see that in the black box I'm dot 1.187, and I can open up Motion Builder. Sometimes it takes a while to load up. There you go. I thought it was loading. But it just like crashed or something? Motion Builder. And just like we did in the first couple of weeks, I can go to my devices, bring an OptiTrack skeleton, and connect. Oh, I'm not actually connected. 1 second. I have to connect my own client first. So now it's in my, so it's installed, it's in my tray, and I can say start VPN connection for the black box. And let's start that again. Delete. OptiTrack skeleton, bring it in. And then this is actually my local address right here. I pulled it from the pull down menu. And then this is the IP of the black box computer, right? That's its IP. And now from where I am right now, I'm streaming data to my computer. So as we move forward, obviously we can always download our motion capture data and do a retargeting from in Motion Builder without using live data. But this is a way for us to continue to work with the workflow of doing live streaming if we did have a performer in there. And if we do get other motion capture tools up and running, we can use this VPN so that we keep everything very simple and not have to create a whole server because we're leveraging the one that's already been done by Soft Ether. And then in the future, and I showed a couple of you guys on our chats this past week, we can get into doing what's called multi-user editing in Unreal, which is a new feature that a lot of people are really excited about, where we can all log into the same instance of Unreal at one time, and one person could be in charge of lights and one person could be in charge of sound, and we could see where each other is inside of the space. So for us to get multi-user editing working, we need to be sharing a project and version control and have a VPN set up. So we've already taken care of that, and we've got that got that going. Obviously, this is the VPN's only working for PC as of now. I'm still doing research on how to get it working for a Mac, but I haven't had any success. But ultimately, with access to remoting into other computers at school and installing Soft Ether, everyone can work together at the same time. So this is kind of a technical exercise I want to try, and it's something that I think is really, really cool and can help, as I was talking to Ryan and also Marianne, this could also help the film department continue to work on productions and stuff.
Yeah, actually.
Yeah, so obviously you're not dealing with a lot of the physicality of working with cameras and lights, but you're still working with the simulation of the idea of cameras and lights. So this is a really cool collaborative tool, and these are the two components we need to get going before we do that. We're not going to go any further with multi-user editing because that's enough technical dry stuff for right now. But I wanted to get us there. So
quick question.
Hmm?
Like now, can multi-users using the black box VPN, like
Yep.
2 people?
Yep, all 18 of us can be on the VPN and streaming the data to each one of our computers.
But can 2 people just use this computer?
You mean to remote access it?
Yeah.
No, so we're going to set up a sign-up sheet for remote accessing the computer, so that you can actually deal with the interface. The VPN is only for the data streaming.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's the thing called parallel access that I was trying to get working. That Scott's working with technical support now, but eventually it'll be just a browser. It's a browser-based remote access tool that you can even use from your phone or your iPad or whatever, because it's just browser-based. So we have a license for I think 100 students to use all 10 of the computers at IDM. So that you guys can remote in and use a PC from the XR lab at IDM if you don't have a PC for when we do this multi-user stuff. Otherwise, you're fine for using your Mac for doing just SVN as soon as I figure out how to pull on SVN.
Sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
So it's different. Like VPN, just we can use the data on the
Mm-hmm.
computer, but if we use this parallels, we can use the softwares.
Yeah, if you can use the software interfaces, but then with parallels you can't get the data. So those combined means I'm basically using that I'm remoting in and also getting the data from it.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. To throw in another terminology, the remote access is called a VNC. So we're VNCing and VPNing with our SVN. That's all the kids are talking about these days. So a lot of people use Macs at IDM, and the cool thing is that we can, now that we're on the same network, it's really easy to send this UDP protocol to each other, and it could be a way for us to continue to collaborate. And I think it'd be fun to do this in a music class because Max is really good for um, for creating music, and we now have a way of like doing a networked music app. So I'll talk to Luke about that if he's going to be doing that with one of his music classes. If you haven't used Max before, it's a node-based piece of software that does data flow, it does music, and it does video. It's a company called Cycling 74. And Luc Dubois, who's the co-director of IDM, has been one of the contributors to the visual component, which is called Jitter. And we'll get into this maybe a little bit later, but I just wanted to prove that we're tunneling data back and forth. That's not
crazy how many people are at NYU that are in this sort of field.
The creative coding field?
Yeah, like it's the Lauren McCarthy and this guy. It's just crazy.
So this window is on my computer at home, and that Max window is over there. And I was talking about this UDP protocol. That's what all this data streaming is. And I can do a node for UDP send. And then we have to know our networking. So I have to know my IP is 192.168.1.2. And then the port has to match. It doesn't really matter what port. In general, creative coding is between like 6,000 and 10,000. And then I can send it data. And then I'm controlling this computer remotely. So we'll continue to we'll come back to this with more practical applications. I just wanted to give you guys an introduction to SVN and VPN. So we'll continue to use these tools to remotely collaborate moving forward. So obviously I didn't get the Mac working with the SVN just yet with the Snail SVN. So I owe you guys that. But is there any other questions about these two topics as we're here right now?
So generally speaking, someone else want to go. Aaron?
Yeah.
Okay, so for the remainder of class, because I was having trouble following along, do I need to have this set up right now, or can I just watch the video later?
You can watch the video later.
Okay.
Yeah, and in fact, I'm going to try letting us do studio time today at the end of class so that we can ask questions. Because I think if one person has a question, probably everyone has the same question.
Fair.
And then I need to figure out how to get this the Snail stuff pulled. Anyway, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to stop the recording for this. So we'll keep the SVN and the VPN in its own little window of a video. I'm going to take a 5-second break to go get some water, and then we'll come back and we'll talk about progress updates, and we'll talk more about sequencer and Unreal stuff that's specific for that. Okay?
Okay.
So I'm going to stop this recording real quick.